The sky was still heavy with the echo of last night's storm when Ethan stood before the fresh mound of earth that now covered his mother's coffin. His wheelchair sat slightly tilted on the uneven ground, his hands trembling on the armrests. Beside him, his 8-year-old son, Noah, clung to his sleeve, staring quietly at the gravestone. The funeral crowd had already dispersed. Only 3 figures were left: Ethan, his son, and his wife, Claire, though she stood several steps behind them, scrolling through her phone as if waiting for a bus rather than mourning a mother-in-law. Ethan closed his eyes. His mother had been the glue that held the fragile pieces of his life together, especially after the accident that left him unable to walk. She helped him dress, helped him heal, and held Noah when Claire found excuses to stay out late. She told Ethan again and again, "Son, pain doesn't ruin people, people do." Now she was gone. And something deep inside Ethan knew this was the day things would finally shatter. "Ethan," Noah knelt and touched the flowers beside the grave. "Daddy." "Grandma wouldn't want you to be sad?" Ethan swallowed hard. "I know, buddy. But it's okay to miss someone you love." Behind them, Claire groaned loudly, checking her watch again. "Are we finally done here? I have things to do. I can't stand around in the cemetery all morning." The words stung Ethan harder than the icy wind. He turned his wheelchair toward her. "It's my mother's funeral, Claire." "Yeah, well, she's already buried. Standing here won't change anything." A silence heavier than the grave itself settled between them. Then she did something no one expected. She stepped closer, not to comfort her husband or her son, but to drop a folded piece of paper into Ethan's lap. "What's this?" he asked. "My goodbye." Before he could react, Claire lifted her handbag, adjusted her sunglasses, and turned away. "Claire, Mom's gone. Don't do this now," Ethan pleaded. She didn't stop. She didn't turn. She didn't even flinch. Noah cried, "Mom, don't leave," but she only quickened her pace. And there, at the edge of his mother's grave, Ethan watched his wife walk away from him, away from their son, away from the life she had promised to love, honor, and protect forever. The cemetery grew quiet again. Wind rustled through the trees as Ethan unfolded the crumpled paper with shaking hands. It wasn't a love letter, not an apology, not even an explanation. It was a confession. Claire wrote that she was done caring for a disabled husband. She said didn't he sign up for a life of pushing wheelchairs and babysitting a child alone. She said she deserved better, deserved freedom, deserved happiness. And then came the final line: "I won't live my life imprisoned by your condition." "Don't try to find me." Ethan felt tears blur the words. Noah hugged him tightly, crying into his chest. "I don't want Mom to go," Noah whispered. Ethan placed his hand gently on his son's head. "I'm right here, buddy. I'm not going anywhere." The world felt unbearably heavy. His mother gone, his wife abandoning them, his body failing him. But he had something more important now. He had Noah, and he had a promise to keep. Ethan carefully folded the letter and tucked it into his pocket. Then he turned toward his mother's grave and whispered, "Mom, I'll take care of him. I'll be strong. I promise." For the first time in months, he felt a spark of something he thought he had lost forever: willpower. Life after the funeral was brutal. Without his mother, the house echoed with silence. Without Claire, every chore became a challenge. But Ethan refused to give in. He woke earlier. He learned to use adaptive tools. He cooked meals from the wheelchair, cleaned the house slowly but steadily, packed Noah's lunches, helped with homework, and showed up at every school event, even when Claire never bothered to call again. Every day was hard. Every night was harder, but he kept going. Noah became his tiny source of strength, cheerful, brave, determined to help his dad however he could. "Daddy, I'll bring your chair closer. Daddy, I'll carry the groceries. Daddy, you don't have to be sad. You have me." Ethan realized something beautiful. He wasn't broken. He wasn't abandoned. He wasn't alone. He was rebuilding. One day he discovered his mother's old journal. In it, she had written something that changed him. "Your legs do not define your strength. Your heart does." From that day on, Ethan stopped seeing himself as a burden and started seeing himself as a survivor, and slowly, a new life began to emerge. Months later, during a school charity event, Noah introduced Ethan to someone unexpected: his teacher, Anna. She wasn't overly kind out of pity. She wasn't curious about the wheelchair. She simply treated Ethan like a human being, with respect and genuine warmth. She checked on Noah after school. She dropped by with homemade meals on difficult days. She volunteered to take Ethan to hospital appointments when he had no one else. Little by little, Ethan felt pieces of himself healing. One evening she said softly, "You're stronger than you think. You've built a whole world for Noah despite everything. I'm proud of you." No one had said that to him since his mother died. Their bond grew naturally, not rushed, not forced, not replacing what he lost, but building something new, something better. But just when Ethan finally felt a glimpse of happiness, the past returned. After nearly a year of silence, Claire suddenly appeared at Ethan's door. She wasn't apologetic. She wasn't remorseful. She was desperate. Her new relationship had collapsed. Her finances were ruined. Her freedom wasn't the paradise she imagined. "I want to come home," she said, arms crossed. Ethan stared at her, the woman who abandoned him at a graveyard, the woman who left her son crying in the cold, the woman who wrote that cruel letter. Noah peeked from behind him and whispered, "Dad." "I don't want her here." Ethan had waited years for her love. Now he didn't need it. He calmly replied, "This isn't your home anymore." Claire's eyes widened. "You can't do this. You need me." "No," Ethan said firmly. "We needed you then." "You left." He closed the door. Inside the house, Noah hugged him tightly. Anna stood nearby, offering silent support. And in that moment, Ethan realized something profound. The hardest goodbyes are the ones that save you. He looked at Noah and whispered, "We're going to be okay." And for the first time in a long time, they truly were. Life settled into a rhythm that Ethan could actually call a new normal. Noah thrived in school, excelling academically and socially, and Ethan learned to navigate the challenges of his disability with greater confidence. The house that once felt like a prison now hummed with small victories, a plate of dinner successfully cooked, a school project completed on time, or a smile shared between father and son. Anna became a consistent presence, not as a replacement for Claire, but as someone who understood Ethan's struggles and supported his resilience. Sometimes they would cook together, laughing at the smallest mishaps. Other times, she simply sat beside him while he helped Noah with homework. One night, as they all watched the sunset from the backyard, Noah turned to Ethan. "Daddy, do you think Mom will ever come back?" Ethan held his son close and whispered, "Even if she does, buddy, we've got each other. That's what matters." For the first time in years, Ethan felt a sense of peace. It wasn't perfect, but it was real, and it was theirs. Just as life seemed to stabilize, shadows of the past emerged in unexpected ways. One evening, Ethan received a call from Claire's lawyer. She had filed for partial custody of Noah, claiming she wanted a second chance and that it was in the child's best interest. Ethan's stomach sank. The last thing he wanted was to reopen old wounds, but the thought of losing Noah, even temporarily, was unbearable. Anna held his hand that night. "We'll face this together," she said softly. "Noah isn't alone, and neither are you." Court dates loomed, conversations with lawyers consumed evenings, and Ethan had to confront not only Claire's unexpected return but also the emotional toll it brought. Yet through it all, his resolve strengthened. He realized that love wasn't just about being present when it was easy, it was about showing up when it was hardest. Noah, sensing his father's tension, whispered, "Daddy, I'm scared." Ethan smiled gently, brushing Noah's hair back. "Then we'll be brave together, okay?" Always together. The courtroom was cold, formal, and suffocating. Claire sat across from Ethan, her gaze unreadable, a mix of defiance and desperation. Ethan's lawyer presented a compelling case, emphasizing the years Claire had abandoned her family, the stability Ethan had provided, and the emotional bond between father and son. Claire tried to justify her absence with vague promises of change, but the evidence was undeniable. Throughout the trial, Noah held Ethan's hand under the table, finding courage in the warmth of his father's grip. When the judge finally ruled in Ethan's favor, granting him full custody, Ethan felt a weight lift from his shoulders. The relief wasn't about winning a legal battle. It was about protecting the person he loved most. Claire left the courtroom silently, no words exchanged. Ethan didn't feel anger anymore. There was only clarity. Some doors, once closed, are meant to remain that way. With the legal battle behind them, Ethan focused on healing, both his own and Noah's. They started small traditions: Sunday morning pancake breakfasts, evening story time under the stars, and weekly trips to the park. Each ritual became a reminder that love, care, and presence were far stronger than absence. Anna continued to be a pillar of support, but she also gave Ethan space to rediscover his independence. Slowly, he started pursuing projects he had abandoned years ago: writing, photography, and even advocating for disability awareness in the community. Through it all, Noah flourished. His laughter echoed through the house again, a testament to resilience, and Ethan began to see a reflection of his mother in his son's determination and kindness. For the first time in years, Ethan felt hope that extended beyond survival, hope that life could be genuinely joyful again. One afternoon, out of the blue, Ethan received a letter from Claire. This time, it was different. She wrote no demands, no pleas, only an acknowledgement of the pain she had caused. "I was selfish," she admitted. "I abandoned you both. I can never take back what I did, but I am truly sorry. I hope you can find happiness even if it's without me." Ethan read the words slowly, his heart a mixture of anger, sadness, and relief. He didn't respond immediately. Later that evening, he told Noah, "She said she's sorry, buddy." Noah shrugged. "Does it matter?" he asked. Ethan smiled and hugged him. "No, what matters is us. And we're never going to forget, but we're going to move forward." Forgiveness, Ethan realized, wasn't about bringing someone back into your life. It was about freeing yourself from bitterness so you could live fully in the present. Years passed. Ethan's home was now filled with warmth, laughter, and life. Noah grew into a confident, compassionate young boy, supported by a father who had transformed grief and betrayal into resilience and love. Anna had become more than a friend; she was family. Together, they created a nurturing, stable environment, a safe harbor from the storms of the past. Ethan often visited his mother's grave, sharing milestones with her as if she were still there, feeling her presence in every decision, every hug, every word of encouragement to Noah. One evening, watching the sunset, Ethan whispered, "We survived the worst, buddy, and now we get to live the rest." Noah smiled. "Together?" "Together," Ethan confirmed, gripping his son's hand tightly. And as the golden light bathed them, it was clear: life, though painful, had been reclaimed. The past was a shadow, yes, but the future was theirs, bright, unwavering, and full of possibility.